Our next speaker is a senior fellow and chair for the study of Islamic radicalism at the Potomac Institute for Policy Studies. He is a former Islamic extremist from Egypt. However, he's now an Islamic reformer and focuses on providing a fresh and theologically valid interpretation of the Quran. And he uses this to counterbalance radical teachings. He has unique insight, a very unique insight into radical terrorists and their minds. And tonight, he's going to explain to us the terrorist mind. Dr. Tawfik Hamid.
Thank you so much, Mallory, and it's a real pleasure and honor to be with you. Just want to make sure all in the back you hear me clearly. Okay, great. Really? Yeah. Sorry, forgive my accent and language. Okay. Actually, I am, just to give you an idea about who I am, I'm basically a medical doctor and I have degrees in cognitive psychology. And I was a radical at some stage of my life. My father was an orthopedic surgeon and he was an atheist. And I was brought up from a family that's very secular. My mother was a liberal French teacher. So we really had nothing to do with the concept of radicalism. Yet I developed an enthusiasm toward learning about God through the DNA molecule. And through this enthusiasm, I was taken into in the medical school. I was attracted to or invited to join a radical group called Gamaa Al Islamiyya, where I met with Ayman al-Zawahiri, who became later on second command of Al-Qaeda. The point here, after I really started the reformation process and fighting the problem 30 years ago and more. So it's not after September 11. I was on my own with my wife, very limited number of people. And despite the powers that were against us, we continued to fight this evil. We knew that it's coming ahead. And when September 11th occurred, I was invited to come to Washington. And let me now address the most critical point I would like to address tonight, which is the fight against radical Islam. There is a difference between fighting something and winning it. For 10 years and more, we have been fighting radical Islam traditionally via military power. And what is the outcome? That Taliban is coming back, Al-Qaeda is expanding. Just recently, we have an attack in Boston that can happen in any city in America and every part of the world. So we have been fighting it, but let us admit the reality. We could not defeat this phenomena yet. The reason, in my view, was that we have been focused on fighting terrorism in Pakistan and Afghanistan, and we failed to fight it in what I call Brainistan, here in the mind. And this is what I am bringing on the table, is a new center called International Center for Countering Radicalism that will focus only on fighting the radicalism process at the mental level. And let me just clarify what I mean here. At the mental level, I mean we will work at 5 different levels. First is the theological one that Mallory has just mentioned, which is providing a modern interpretation for the religious text. And I just recently started a Facebook on my own. In my house, I created it, and I put some new interpretations. I can share later on with you some examples. But within 7 months, the numbers of fans on it exceeded 900,000 people. Hopefully next week there will be 1 million. So there is a hope for change using technology with changing the theology. The second point is changing not just the interpretation of the religious text, but the process of thinking of people. People can become radical even if they have a very peaceful text in their hands. And it happened in human history. So thinking a process such as absolutism, being judgmental to the others, suppression of critical thinking are among the factors that can be fought also via soft power through the internet, advertisements on TV, non-military approaches, in other words. The third dimension is psychological influences that affect the process. Like a radical mind, I lived as a radical for some period of my life. The first thing, they make you hate people. That is the first step. Then they teach you how to suppress your human conscience. Then you become desensitized to the use of violence via their teaching, and in different parts of mosques or whatever, you become desensitized to the use of violence. So via a gradual process, you really lose your humanity at the end, and you become ready to do anything. And part of what I will do through the center is to fight this psychological element of radicalism. The other part is to fight it at the level of behavior modification techniques, like the positive and negative reinforcement. If I kicked my foot in a wall, I will feel pain. The pain works as a negative reinforcement. It has to be immediate, so I will not repeat it again. And what's happening with the radicals, we are actually doing the opposite. Like in Afghanistan, they asked the female soldiers to wear the hijab, thinking that this will make them appeal more to the local societies. And in fact, it's a sign of defeat. And once the radicals feel that you are defeated, they actually aggravate their attacks. It goes the other way around. So we need correct and proper negative reinforcements for the radicals themselves to prevent them from committing their atrocities against us. The last thing that I will mention, which might look strange for some, but it is a reality, the appreciation of beauty. When I joined the radical group, they told us not to listen to music, not to accept any colorful paintings. And after some time, if you notice, actually, the radical groups, wherever they are, women wear black, no music, no dancing, no beauty in life. When you lose the ability to appreciate beauty, you become like someone who lost the taste sensation. Then they can put anything in your mouth and you will not really distinguish if it is good or bad. They can put grass, mud, whatever. And this is what happened by gradually making the followers unable to appreciate beauty. They create human beings who become ready to behead others, to do any evil thing, and without even feeling that this is bad. So part of what I will do through certain techniques, just the time is limited to elaborate, I will use certain tactics to make the young generations. It's actually addressing the Muslim world in the whole world. It's not limited to the Arab world. There will be part in English, Urdu. My vision is big, and my vision is not just to fight radical Islam, but to defeat it. Thank you so much.
I just wanted to mention that tomorrow he will be going into great depth on these issues, the issue of the radical Islamist mind at the Charleston Library Society at noon, where he's going to be giving a lecture and taking lots and lots of questions, unlike the only we're going to take here. First question. Wait a second.
It's modern Quran interpretation. Modern Quran interpretation. And the one with 967,000, I can show it to you on my cell and send it to you after the lecture.
Question over there. Wait a second, let's get...
Dr. Hassan, assalamu alaikum.
Shalom, salamu alaikum, peace be upon you.
Yeah.
All works for me.
Recently, our president, Mr. Obama, made a speech, and in his speech,
Yeah.
he declared that Al-Qaeda
Yeah.
is on the run, period. What is your take on that particular comment and that declaration by our president? What is your opinion?
Yeah, my opinion is just what was released today by the head of the intelligence committee in the Senate, and it was in Huffington Post, and he said clearly that we are less safe today than 2 years ago. So Al-Qaeda has expanded its operations, and now they are not working. They franchise. It's like, you know, the starfish, when you cut it into pieces and each part start another starfish. This is what has happened. We attacked them in Afghanistan. They spread globally. They are in Iraq. They are in Libya. They are in Egypt now. So I see them that they are spreading, and all what is needed for them is one single chance to get a weapon of mass destruction. And we will realize that we were lucky on September 11th that Al-Qaeda didn't have such weapon in their hands. My pleasure. Thank you.
You have time? Gentleman right there.
Yes, sir. Do you have any concerns for your personal safety?
Look, sir, thank you for asking the question, and I was asked this before, and my answer is simple, straightforward, and clear, that there are two ways to die, and I will die anyway with them. One is to die as a coward who refused to stand against evil, and one is to die as a good human being who stood against evil, and I chose the latter.
Website.
Website now is tawfikhamid@gmail.com, but we are working together. I'm working with Trent, who is helping me. Trent Christensen is helping me to start the process for the center, the website and this stuff. So hopefully we will announce the birth of the center soon, and it's a pleasure really to be with you tonight. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.